Even down below in the comments, or send them to askGMBN.com.
Right, it's time for Ask GMBN. That's what Blake was just saying.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying.
Blake and Neil in the shed answering your questions.
Yes. Oh.
Let's start with actually someone helping us out. So Adrian Schwitzgubel is answering a question from last week. So a guy was asking us about drilling a frame for a drop seat post, which we talked about a bit in the past.
Sounds nasty.
But Adrian says, check out the wireless option from Magura. They cost a kidney, but are quite fine.
I like that. Cost a kidney. I think they do cost a kidney.
Yeah, I've tried them out.
A lot of technology gone into that.
Kind of works the same. You've got like a release lever and then you can move it up and down yourself.
What?
Yeah.
That's good for a freerider that wants to actually have a dropper post, but he doesn't want the cable. So when he wants to do certain tricks with bar spins or
can't be
tail whips.
many that want to drop a post.
I would like one.
Yeah.
I would like to try it. Like on my enduro bike. I can do bar spins on it.
Nice. Good idea.
I like it.
Anyway, let's get into the questions. Andrea Vignoni says, hey guys, I'm considering the purchase of a smartwatch, mainly for the GPS function during my rides instead of a bike computer.
Yeah.
Is it a good idea, or are bike computers much more reliable and easier to use whilst riding?
Well, it's like using your mobile phone whilst driving. You wouldn't want to use that whilst riding.
Yeah, true. You've got an Apple Watch. That does
I've got an
GPS.
Apple Watch, yeah, and I use it quite constantly when I'm out riding my mountain bike.
Chatting to people.
I do talk to Mr. Ashton on my watch. It's a bit weird, yeah.
Well, I've got both. This is a Garmin watch, and I've got a Wahoo computer and a Garmin computer as well, actually. And I tend to use computers much more on road bikes because I'm worried about smashing it, falling off the bike, and it being on my stem and hitting the ground. Yeah. Whereas I rarely whack my wrist on the floor.
Exactly, yeah.
Although I do like to wear a glove, really, because it does rattle around a bit.
It does, yeah. It kind of bruises me a little bit. I kind of tuck it under my race jersey. But it's the same thing.
Functions-wise, they're virtually exactly the same. Yep. Just with the computers, they are easier to read if you want to. So for cross-country riding, road riding, slightly better probably. But you got a big thing on your stem.
Yeah.
Marcelo Sanchez. In the future, I'd like to become a professional downhill racer. I was wondering, what is the first steps to getting there?
Start now. Get into it as quick as possible. Do as many races as possible. You've been there.
Yeah, I started off pretty young, sort of 15, and I got straight into racing, so that's where I did it. But yeah, I definitely think youngish is a good way to start it, and just get doing it.
Yeah, keep going, keep practicing, keep riding downhill. Enter as few races locally. Join a local club if you have one.
This is an old video, but we did do one where we asked the pros how they became pro bike riders.
I started riding when I was 14, which is quite late, but I became directly a pro rider when I was 15. I had a chance to have a Cap Dye World Cup back in the years in the mountain above Monte Carlo, where I just been opening the race and doing a great time there, and had the opportunity to meet few sponsors and have one of the team back in the years called Sun. That was one of the biggest team. That's how I got involved into the sport and signed my first pro contract.
I like it.
You've done a video, your thing about how you became pro.
How to become a pro, yeah, it's harder than you think.
It is quite a difficult thing to do. Avriel Spence has got a question. Hey, Neil, how many bikes do you own? Let's do both of us. How many bikes do you own, Blake?
Personally?
Yeah, personally.
One. That I personally own.
You paid your money?
I paid my money. Actually, I didn't pay it. I was a sponsored rider. And it's actually a dirt jump bike. It's nothing... Yeah. It's like it's not good for A to B, not good for like going cross country or anything.
I think what Avriel's probably asking is how many bikes do we have? Because as part of our amazing job on GMBN, we get bikes to ride from our partner brands. So I've got 4 or 5, I don't know actually, bikes that they're not mine. I don't own them. We borrow them for the sake of making videos, and then they get sent back. Yeah. Same. I own a road bike and I own a really old mountain bike that uses a commuter bike. But as far as having bikes, I've got plenty.
I've got plenty.
Just don't own them.
We just own like 10 or something. That's quite a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. You've got loads of bikes.
Yeah, I've got loads of
bikes. You seem to ride your nuke-proof bike packing bike.
I do like that. And the fat bike.
Yeah?
Yeah. And my Gambler.
I forgot about your fatty.
Yeah, she's tucked away, ready for the snow season to come out. My wife's got 2 bikes. She's got more bikes than me. Ah. And she's got a real fancy mountain bike. She didn't even ride it.
Right, next question comes from Ander Yoko, who's got creaks. I've got creaks in my pedals and was able to fix them by adding grease, but they started creaking again after a week of riding. Oh. I think I may have used the wrong grease. I used some sort of Vaseline.
That's wrong.
Any other grease I should use instead?
Yes.
Well, Vaseline's really thin, isn't it?
Yeah, and that can wear out quite well. I know it's quite good for dispersing water, so water can't get in there.
I used to use it in the old days on my grip shift because it was super light. But as far as pedals, you want something a bit thicker.
Yeah, I've used industrial. You know, you get the grease guns.
Yeah, they come with like
with a
marine grease. That's pretty extreme.
Yeah, that's what I used because I didn't want squeaky pedals.
But I know a man that knows a lot about grease.
Oh,
his name's Andrew Dodd.
Oh,
he spends all his time in the workshop.
Oh yeah.
Let's get him to tell us about it.
This is the bare minimum that you really should be having to look after your bike at home. So you're going to need some sort of water displacer. Now you'd use these after cleaning your bike. Then you're going to need some sort of chain lube. There's various different ones on the market which we're going to explain to you later. A generic sort of spray lube, because you can use these on various places on your bike that you can't get to with a chain lube. And some sort of grease.
Cool, he knows a lot about lubricating.
He does, doesn't he? I don't know what he's been doing, but he knows everything.
He knows it.
Anthony Katkov. Hi guys, huge fan. So I was thinking about getting a Nuke-Proof 275 Scout race. What's yours? That's Scout.
I got the Scout Comp.
Hurry up. It comes with 800mm wide handlebars.
Yeah.
I'm 13 and around 5'3". Is this all right for me or not?
About the same size as Neil and myself. I would go cut them down. I would 760.
Yeah, it's easy to cut them down. Get yourself a hacksaw, or if dad or your mum's got a hacksaw. You're only 13. You might not have your own hacksaw.
No, and a ruler.
Yeah, try and do it as straight as you can, and obviously don't go too narrow.
Yeah,
you can't stick it back.
You can't put it back on. No.
Maybe even try 780 or 7.
Yeah,
760 is good.
Do it in steps. Yeah, cut it down. Feel it too wide. Cut it down a little bit more.
You know this, but 10mm off each side adds up to 20mm.
Yeah, don't forget, because I have done that before at a young age, and I had bars this narrow.
Yeah. Biker Dew, a trials bike question. We haven't got Martin here today, otherwise he can ask us. We're talking about crank length.
Should we go past this one?
No, we'll try this. Talking about maybe running shorter pedal cranks, that's what I'm on about. So you don't get pedal strikes, but wouldn't a longer crank help you get more torque for those big jumps, long jumps? What is the norm?
The norm, 175.
Well, a normal bike would be 175. You can get shorter. I used to run 165 on downhill
bikes. My downhill bike has 165.
Because you sag in, and obviously you want to pedal over rough stuff. E-bikes, I tried one the other week, had 155 cranks.
I've not heard of that.
Feels like you're riding a kid's bike.
That could be good on a... Yeah, I can see it.
But you know what? As far as actual sort of affecting the power you put in, GCN have done a video about crank length. They said that it doesn't matter. The conclusion was it didn't matter, but I don't know about
torque, yeah. Maybe there's a video in it for mountain bike.
Well, we should ask the trials expert, but he's not in today.
He's not in today. No. I'm sorry we couldn't answer that one to the point.
Maybe we'll ask one. Vince Lan, Blake Sampson.
Hello.
Are air shocks better than Coil when you go free riding? Okay,
I had an issue. I've just come back from Audi 9s, and I was running a Coil shock.
On your Gambler?
On my Gambler.
Yeah.
It's a Fox X2 Coil. I was a 550 spring. Everything was
quite a heavy spring.
Yeah, but it's not heavy enough.
Yeah.
So it's really good. Yeah, it's really good in the woods and on the rough stuff because the feedback on a Coil is insane.
Yeah.
I loved
Small
it.
bump sensitivity.
Yeah.
It's better.
And I was like, I could not get it stiff enough. And you could run a stiffer Coil. A lot of the big boys out there, they like Fest series, they run Coils, but they're running like 600, 650, 800 springs.
The thing about an air shock is you can adjust how much it ramps up as well.
You can, yeah.
So with volume spaces and all
that. I prefer air for free ride because I've maxed out. I got an X2 Fox rear shock.
Yeah.
I've maxed it out, and I've got the 2019 one, and that one you can run 300 psi, and it feels like wood, and it is by far better for free ride and bigger jumps for free ride. Yeah.
Okay, next question. Voltaire Kwong. Can I use my cross-country clipless shoes, Mavics, with a downhill clipless pedal, the Shimano DX?
Yeah, if a cleat fits in
there.
You
can, yeah. Loads of people used to do this. Personally, think it's not weird. I think it's fine. It's totally fine. But you're going to have quite a stiff sole with quite a big pedal. I think the bigger pedals are better with softer sole. So you get a bit of a feel through there. But it definitely will work. I'm not sure it's optimum.
Would it work? Because some of those shoes, the Mavic ones, they got these big like football studs.
Yeah.
So you might have to remove them out. Yeah.
So I think they will work, is the actual answer. Nico T, is there a good budget option for flat pedals that suit bigger feet? And how big the pedals should be compared to the shoe? So, well, I guess if you've got big feet, yes, you can go for bigger pedals. It will suit.
Dottie runs a big pedal.
So yeah, you can get the Crank Brothers stamp in small or large. I tend to run small, and I've got a size UK 8, which is a US 9.
Same as me, yeah.
So what, you run the smalls as
I
well?
run a small as well, yeah, and it's kind of perfect. And Dottie's got like size 14 or like.
So he runs large, which
large.
are big, and I'm fine with the smaller ones. To be fair, I'm sort of on the cusp. If you look at the Crank Brothers website, to what size pedal I should be using.
Yeah.
And you can get those in the Stamp 2, so the lower end ones, which are £70. Not sure on dollars and euros, but they're cheaper than obviously the ones that, some of the ones we run that are higher up on that. So can you get the bigger ones? Yes, the large.
Yeah. With a small foot, you can use any pedal, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Like we could go for a wide, like a bigger one.
Yeah.
Just feels a bit weird, but you got more platform and grip.
Yeah.
And then a big guy needs
I quite like having a bit of like a curl over the pedal.
Yeah, you get more grip and you can curl, like feels like you can curl your
But then if you've got a
toes
massive foot and you've got a little pedal.
God, you're curling all the way around. You get lost in your
Like
shoe.
monkey feet.
Yeah.
Right, quick fire round.
Oh!
Because we've been going on for ages.
Yeah.
Jack BT, can I put a high-end fork in a cheap frame?
Yes, you can. You can. If it fits.
Yeah, that's what he says, as long as they have the same steerer. Yes.
Exactly.
Jonas Nest, do all bikes fit plus tyres?
No.
Yeah, you're not going to have clearance on some of them. Lewis Spencer, could you make a hardtail into a full suspension?
Well, if you're good at engineering, yes you can, but why?
Yeah, probably not. Josh John 91312.
Cool.
Do you think hardtail could possibly win a downhill World Cup since you can get more speed doing the pumps?
Well, if everyone was racing a hardtail, then potentially the fastest one, yes, would win a World Cup.
But if they're all riding downhill bikes?
No. Hell no.
MTB Junior. What should cross-country marathon and cross-country Olympic riders do in the off-season?
Sleep.
Yeah.
Because they've had a hell of a year.
I was going to say cyclocross because that's hard.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And that's a lot of them do that in the off-season.
I think they got training.
You could sleep as well, yeah.
Yeah, they don't stop, those people.
No.
They don't stop.
Okay. Quickfire's done dusted. Now to correct me if I'm wrong. So you guys have been sending in your cool videos via the uploader. Oof. So we can check them out, see what you're doing, and try and give you some advice for what we think is going wrong. So this one has come from Samuel in Valhassan Bike Park, Sweden.
And he's riding a nuke-proof Scout.
Yeah, so he's riding these
Custom.
jumps. He's gone out with his dad, and he wants to...
Looks like a good spot, doesn't it?
He wants to go faster and higher. So this is the first attempt. See, he sort of overshot that a bit, didn't he?
Okay.
Woo.
Oh, yeah, kind of...
So first one, a bit of an overshoot. So I would say slow it down and go a bit higher. Also, the bars went a bit skew-if.
Yeah.
So that can be a bit dodgy if you get a bit sideways in the air and land your bar sideways.
Yeah. You got to loosen up a little bit in the air as well. Kind of looked like he was stiffened up because you're coming in too fast for a small jump. The thing is with popping going higher, but you want to go faster as well.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He wants to go faster and higher.
Okay. Well, then you got to pull up. It's using that bunny hop technique. You want to push into that lip, bring the bars way up into you, then follow up with your hips, curling your feet on the pedals. A big bunny hop.
Yeah, just getting a real nice takeoff rather than trying to use speed to just bomb over it.
Yeah.
I would say maybe slow it down a touch.
It's not all about speed when you want to go high.
Go higher. But that's pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Nice one. Keep sending in your videos. We'll check them out and we'll try and help you out on whatever you think you need some help with. Right. What videos are you going to throw to, Blake?
Woo! What should we do? They're at our mercy. Here you go. How to be a pro. Click over here.
Nice.
My version on how to become a pro. How I became a pro.
I'm going to throw to another one of your videos, your bike packing one around the Isle of Wight. Click over here. It's a wicked one if you've not seen it already. Hit that sub button. We'd love to see you subscribers.
Yeah, let us know in the comments down below on any questions that you want asking in next week's GMBN.
Yep.
And we'll see you next Thursday.
Thumbs up.